Hey everybody, Roxabox90 here with a Magic the Gathering Finance speculation video. So now that Modern Masters 2015 has hit the market, I think it's time to kind of take a check at the larger Magic the Gathering market, and with Modern as the key focus, what has happened to the key staples? Where do I see trends going from here? What am I thinking about when I'm speculating? And since obviously I can't touch on every single card that's moving around in market, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section about what cards I may have missed and or your thoughts on the cards I'm going to talk about now. So the first thing I want to mention is that if you look at the newest mailbag for Magic the Gathering, there was a question about cycles of rare lands. Now that Dragon's Dark here has come out, and they mentioned that we had enemy pain lands in M15, but we didn't have allied pain lands be printed. We had tri-lands, we had gain life lands, which were at a common or uncommon, I forget. They weren't reliant on rare lands. So this brings in the question of, does Wizards have to print full cycles of lands, rare lands particularly, going forward, especially now that they're changing the block structure, starting with Battle of Zendikar in the fall, where they're only going to have 2 sets per block? Does that mean that they're going to feel the need to follow the same rigors that they have in the past in terms of printing full cycles of rare lands? They did not have 5 shock lands and then leave the other 5 off. They put all 10 in one set, in one block, and going forward, is this something that is going to shift up potentially? It sounds like from his point here, I'll link this down below in the description. You guys can read his, Sam Stoddard, I believe, who's writing this article. Yeah, Sam Stoddard's discussion here, kind of answering the question, kind of not, but it implies that they are not necessarily going to feel forced to print all 10 rare lands of a cycle in a given block. As they haven't with the pain lands, they may not do such things going forward. Does this matter if they actually are going to do this? Does this matter in terms of speculation? I claim yes. So first, in terms of fetch lands, since that's always top of mind for people, they're more valuable and see more play than shock lands. Fetch lands, we've seen with Onslaught, the fetch lands have come down significantly. And even now, it's not a bad thing at all to pick up fetches if you find you need them. They're sitting anywhere from $7 to $15, with most of them leaning more towards the $10, $12 range, which is very reasonable for fetch lands. Zendikar fetch lands have also come down, which begs the question of, does Wizards even feel the need to reprint them somewhere? I personally think that there's a good chance they could be in Battle for Zendikar, especially because with the new rotation cycles, the cons fetches will rotate out faster. It's a good question whether or not they're going to do that. With this article and this discussion from Sam Stoddard, they actually may not bother printing the Zendikar fetches right now because the prices aren't quite egregious and there are plenty of cons fetches out there. And it seems like they don't feel the need to. So I would say don't feel afraid to get your fetches. Don't feel afraid even potentially to get your Zendikar fetches if you find you need them, because it sounds like Wizards may be steering away from having full cycles. That's just speculation. Take it with a grain of salt. Shocklands. Shocklands have actually been very reasonable. I would say if you don't have your shocklands, I would grab them, because if you look at the trends of shocklands, most of them have been slowly trending upwards. The highs, of course, you ignore. It's usually the medians you look at, and yeah, it's not going up quickly, but they'd surprise you. They go up by $1 or $2, $1 or $2 every 6 months, and so suddenly your playsets are not cheap. So I would say, if you're looking to get your playsets of shocks, even one of for EDH or for whatever, now, as always, immediately is the best time to get them if you can afford them. And I think that they're very reasonably priced. The foils as well are quite reasonable. Those I don't expect over the next year or two to remain. So if you want your foils, you'll get them. If you want your regular ones, I wouldn't wait another 6 to 12 months. Try to get them as soon as you can. And this is something you especially see for the ones that have blue in them. Blue-red seems to be the most popular, probably because of Modern, has been slowly trending up to the 12, 13 median range. I could definitely see Steam Vents being almost $20 by the same time next year. Now, kind of shifting away from Modern, just in terms of another land that I've noted is kind of going crazy. Mishra's Workshop has consistently over time been, for the most part, rising. We see a little bit of dips here or there, but the price range tends to remain the same. It's recently been encroaching around $600 and not really dipping as much. This is over the last month or so. I would try to get your workshops sooner than later, especially for Commander players like myself. I'm going to be trying to get my 1 for my Commander decks. I'd recommend you guys consider doing the same if you're looking for this card, because at this rate, it's only going to go up from here, I would think. Liliana the Veil saw a general dip downtrend because people thought that I mean, part of it is that they thought that she might be printed in Modern Masters 2015. Then the promo came out, which also kind of messed with her cost a little bit. But as we've seen, she's been rising consistently. There was another point of article I read recently where they said that they consider, maybe it was in the same mail drop. I don't remember. It might be in the same mailbag discussion in terms of printing Liliana. Let's see. Just quickly skim it. I don't know if it was here. I thought it was here. They talked about, here, Liliana. They did not want to print her in standard because she's just too powerful, and they talked about a lot of reasons why they wouldn't want to easily bring her back. Since she wasn't in Modern Masters 2015, I don't see them printing her again for quite a while. I think that's very safe to get her at this price, and she can only go up from here. Guy's the Saint Traft, this guy's probably at his lowest. I mean, he's been trending for the most part down, but given that he's Guy's the Saint Traft, which makes him narrow to Innistrad, it's very unlikely they'd be able to print him anywhere else outside of an Innistrad related block. And he's a mythic, quite a powerhouse, can work well with things like Zoo. I wouldn't just let him dwindle. If you guys want him, I would try to get him sooner than later. Snapcaster, if you really need him, I would grab him now. He's been shooting through the roof recently, and it can only get worse from here, especially with him not being printed in Modern Masters 2015. Unlike Liliana and unlike Geist, I think he has a higher chance of seeing print in a quote-unquote regular set. When, I'm not sure, but I could see them printing him probably within the next year in some form or fashion. That being said, he is rising. If you need him, grab him, because his price is, I can easily see him being an $100 rare within the next 12 months. If they don't print him. Now let's take a look at a couple of the big powerhouses from Modern Masters 2015 to kind of wrap up our discussion. Modern Masters 2015 is an interesting set. It has been open in droves, and there are questions all over YouTube. I've heard from Darium's CCG and other people talking about there might not be additional print runs and what's going to happen with the overall limited nature of the set. I would say regardless, given the fact that there is a lot of negativity surrounding the set, a lot of the cards are going to drop, and they're already dropping anyway, not just because of the negativity, also just because of the sheer numbers being open and the fact that some of the cards didn't really desperately need a reprint, but because they reprinted them, they're seeing major drops. Dark Confidant is an example of this. You can get the Modern Masters 2015 ones right now for around $40. I could definitely see him dropping down as low as $30 even. So if you're looking for Confidants for whatever reason, you probably want to grab him. Let's say, I would think probably in a month and a half, he'll probably hit down to about 30. So that would be a good time to grab him. Vendilion Clique has been dropping. I still think it can drop a little bit more, especially from Modern Masters 2015. It is a different artwork, but I could see it probably sitting at $35, $40. I would give it another 3 weeks, maybe even a month. Tarmogoyf, you can get them for about $140 here. I don't think they're going to drop dramatically lower than $100. So if you're looking for your singles or sets, I would probably try to grab him between 100 and 130. That's probably will be his low point, and he can only go up from here otherwise. Noble Hierarch's the one I'm most excited about. I would say this guy is a major player. At 35, I think since he was a rare, he's probably not going to stay at the 32 to 35 range. He'll probably drop to 20, 25, and that's where I would grab him. Try to get at least a playset if you want to seriously use him in any deck going forward. Try to get your playset when he's cheap enough to do so, because he will probably rise up again, given his incredible versatility and use. So those are a bunch of speculations. I have a bunch of areas I'm thinking about myself, grabbing up cards, and my general thought process. I'd love to hear what you guys think about where Modern Masters is going in terms of financial perspective, in terms of getting your cards. Of course, if I missed any cards, I'd love to talk about them in the comment section, so bring them up. I'll chat with you, give you my thoughts if I can, and I'd love to continue discussion down there. So if you enjoyed the video, please tap the like button. If you're new to the channel, check in and subscribe. As always, Roxabox90 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.